Hello everybody, it's me again, Shannon, coming at ya with another video. I ain't do that in a long time. But I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys a dream that I actually had today, June 11th. Yeah, today is the 11th. I had it this morning before I woke up. And I know that this is a spiritual dream. I know it's a prophetic dream. God has always given me dreams like that since I was a teenager. And I want you to listen carefully to what I'm saying. A lot of you all are very detailed people. So I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm stating that I saw in the dream. Some of you are prophetic. Some of you who may be listening, maybe, while you're listening to my dream, maybe God is speaking to you about the different things that I saw in my dream. He's giving you a different interpretation than what I feel that this dream meant. If you feel that God is telling you something different or something similar to what I'm saying, definitely let me know what God is showing you. If you have my number, you can definitely give me a call and share with me. Or if you don't have my number, you can make a little short video of what you believe God is telling you that this dream actually means, and you can send it to me, through Messenger. But here is the dream. I was actually in a office space, white walls, gray carpet, typical office space, and the office space, it had different rooms. And in my dream, I just knew that's, where the employees, that's where they were actually working in. That was their workstation, in those different rooms that they had in that workspace. There were two ladies that came in the area where I was. They had fast food bags. It looked like they could have just came from Wendy's or something like that. They had one of the ladies had a drink in her hand, the other lady did not. But both of them had a fast food bag. They just obviously just came in from lunch. And they were talking, and one of the ladies, she put her bag on the table and she proceeded to go, to the back of the office where I was actually standing. She turned around and was going back the other way, obviously to go get back to work. The other lady put her bag on the table. Obviously she wasn't finished her lunch, and she put her cup on the table, and she took out like a piece of paper and she put her name on there, and she wanted to just put that piece of paper with her name on it, put it on her bag and on her cup so nobody won't take it. Now, it was just a table. It was they didn't put it in the refrigerator, nothing. So they just, sat their leftovers on the table. The other lady sat her bag on the table and she didn't have a drink in her hand. So the first thing that I observed in my dream from that, because I was talking to myself in my dream while I was observing what was going on, I said, Oh, so they can't take food or drink, to their desk. They can't even, eat or drink or anything at their desk. I was like, oh, okay, wow, okay. That's what I said to myself in the dream. The next thing that I observed was that there were other tables in the area where I was standing, and there were people, other people in there, and they were sitting at the table, and they was fill. I knew in my dream they was filling out an application, and it was a guy that used to work at the job where I am now. We used to be co-workers. He no longer works there, but he was in my dream filling out the application. Okay, and it was um, two sisters. They were twins. They were there filling out an application, and they were from my previous job, the job that I had before this one. Okay, y'all listening? All right. So I observed that. Okay, somebody that used to work with me at my present job, and two sisters, two twins, girls, young ladies. They were from my previous job. Okay, so I saw that. I was headed to the back where those two ladies were going, who just came back from lunch. I was headed that toward where they were going, back there. And I heard somebody say, look at all of those people running. And I turned around, and around the corner, people came in the area where I was. They came through the actual the walkway, running. It was a bunch of people running around the corner, and went to the the clock so they can clock themselves in. They went to the time clock. So it was a bunch of people. All of them was running so they can swipe their card and clock in. And I was like, oh my Lord. I felt bad for them. I said, that's a shame. That's a shame. You running and trying to hurry up and clock in. I said, that don't make no sense. I was like, in my dream, this is what I was saying to myself. I was like, Lord, thank you for setting me free. Thank you for setting me free from under the hand of an employer. That's what I said to myself in my dream. So obviously, I wasn't working for anybody at that time. I was already out. I was already free. Then I started looking at these other people filling out the application. And for a split second, I said, hold on. I said, maybe I should fill out an application, because the way I was, it was around the corner from where I lived. Okay? Remember that. Where I was right around the corner from where I lived. And for a split second, I said, maybe I should fill out an application. Then I was like, oh, what? No. I caught myself. I said, oh no, I'm not going back. God set me free. I ain't going back. I said, I will never go back to working for anybody ever again. That's what I said to myself in my dream. And then again, another group of people running around the corner, going toward that punch clock so they could clock in. I said, man, I felt so bad for those people. And it was another young lady. I don't know why she was there. She didn't fill out an application. I was there to observe. I wasn't there to fill out an application or even talk to anybody, to be honest with you. I know in my dream I was there to observe what was going on. So this young lady, she was talking to somebody, but she didn't have her phone out. She had her earpiece in, and she was talking. And because I wanted to comment, make a comment of what I just saw with those people hurrying and rushing about to clock in. I just wanted to, say something to her about that. But I noticed that she was on the phone. I was like, oh no, I ain't gonna say nothing to her and disturb her. She on the phone. So I ain't say nothing to her. So me and that young lady who was on the phone talking, she had the earpiece in. We proceeded to go out the door. It was two ways to go out, the left and the right. And I looked to the right and I looked outside. I said, oh no, that's not the right way. That's not where my car is parked. And I looked to the left and I said, oh yeah, this is the way I came in. And me and the young lady was proceeding to go out, that particular door. So we went out the door, and the young lady, I'll tell you this, when you walk out the door, it was some steps that you had to walk down so you could get to the parking lot, to get to your car. So this young lady was proceeding to go down the steps, but these steps looked very unsafe. It was all broken up. Some of the steps was missing, like some of the pieces of the step was missing. And I was looking at it, I was like, what in the world? And before you got to the bottom of the steps, it was a big old space, like a big old hole. And you literally had to jump over that big hole to get to the bottom of the steps. And I was looking, I said, I ain't going down that way. That don't look safe. And she proceeded to go down those steps. I was like, be careful. And she chuckled a little bit. She said, I'll be careful, I got it. And she got to that place on the steps where you had to jump over, and she jumped over that hole to get to the bottom of the steps. But the way that I went, right beside the steps was a slide. It was a slide. And it was a man that went, he went on that slide. Before I went on the slide, he slid down there. I said, ooh, I'm gonna go down this way. So I went down the slide and I was sliding and I was like, wee! And I got to the bottom, of course. So I was proceeding to go toward my car. I was in the parking lot. And it was two big vehicles on either side. They backed in to the actual parking space. They backed in. So the front of the car was facing out. In the middle of those two big vehicles was another vehicle. I thought it was my vehicle. That vehicle was backed in too. I thought it was my vehicle because it was a SUV. So one of the big vehicles that had it was already parked. It was backed into the space. It was crooked. and it was so crooked. The back of their vehicle was going toward the back of the small SUV that was in the middle. It was like sandwiched in between the two vehicles, big vehicles. And the SUV that was sandwiched in between those two big vehicles, I thought that was my SUV. And I was like, I looked at the big vehicle that was all turned, all crooked, going to the back, in the back of the small SUV. I said, how am I going to get out? And I'm like, why would they even park like that? That's not even necessary. How am I going to get out of it? Get out of this parking space? And I said, oh, I got closer. I said, oh, that's not my car. That ain't my vehicle. And I looked on the other side of the parking space, of the parking lot. I looked on the other side of the parking lot, and I saw my vehicle. I said, oh, my vehicle is right there. And then I, clicked my remote to open the door. And that was the end of the dream. So when I woke up, I was like, wow, I was just laying there, just pondering what this dream could have meant. I know that is a spiritual dream. I was pondering. I'm like, Lord, what is this? And I was going through each step of the dream of what I saw. And this is my interpretation. If you have another interpretation, or if God is speaking to you about it, please let me know. Okay? The first thing that I told y'all I observed was those two young ladies that came in from lunch. They wasn't allowed to take their food or drink back to their workspace. That's the first thing I observed. My thing is that I have to be free. I have to be free from an employer. Not saying there's something wrong with working for somebody. That's what you want to do, that's you. But it's not me. I cannot have somebody telling me what I can and cannot do. They are in control of my time, how much I spend with my family, when I could go on vacation, when I can't go, how long can my vacation be, how much time or how many hours of vacation you're going to give me in a year. You're limiting me. How much your paycheck is going to be. You're limiting me. I like to be free. I didn't like that they couldn't take their food or their drink back to their workstation. I didn't like that. The second thing I observed was those, the people that I used to work with, that used to work with me. People from your past. Now, when you are set free, when God has set you free from something, or set you free from an employer, people from your past will try to come up and try to deter you and discourage you from stepping out on faith and starting your own business. In the dream, I was already out. I wasn't working for nobody. I was already out. You understand? I wasn't working for anybody. I was already out. People from your past will try to come into your life and try to deter you and discourage you from stepping out on faith and starting your own business so you can fulfill your dream. Another thing that I observed was definitely those people that was rushing to try to get to that time clock so they can swipe that card. That's bondage. That's bondage. This is the time to start your own business. This is the season to do that so you can be set free. Like I said, in my dream, I was already out. But you remember, in a split second, for a split second, I said, I should fill out an application. Now, God just set you free. You're not working for nobody. You have your own business. And it might not be flowing like you want it to flow right now, but do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your family. Do not give up on your dream. Continue to push. Continue to press. Do not go back to bondage. Don't go back to Egypt. God set you free. Because the enemy will try to come back and try to take you back from where you came from. Because I was already out. But for a split second, I said, let me fill out the application. And you remember I told you that office space where I was, it was close to where I lived. Convenience. It was convenient. Convenience. It was convenient for me to be there. Hey, it's close to where I live. Why not? I don't care how convenient something looks. Do not go back to Egypt. You remember? Those of you who know the Bible, or if you don't, I'm about to tell you a story. You remember the children of Israel that was in bondage, in slavery? And God spoke to Moses on the mountain. And he told Moses, you go tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And Moses did that. Fast forward. The children of Israel was in the wilderness. And they started murmuring and complaining to Moses and to his brother Aaron, saying things like this. When we were back in Egypt, we had a lot to eat. Now you brought us out here in this wilderness to die? We had plenty to eat and plenty to drink when we was in Egypt. Now God just set you free from slavery, from bondage. And you talking about how you were back then. And God trying to bring you out and take you to the promised land. And you talking about how you had food to eat and water to drink when you was in bondage. So you rather go back to bondage? Somebody whipping you and making you do something that you don't want to do? And on top of that, not paying you nothing. Do not go back to Egypt because it looks like it's convenient for you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Continue to press, continue to push. Do not give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. Continue to press, continue to push. Don't give up. I don't care what it looks like. It looks like your business is just dry, nothing really happening. You don't have people around you to support you. Your family not supporting you. Your best friends or whoever not supporting you. You don't need their approval. You don't need nobody's approval. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Don't go back to Egypt. Don't go back to punching a clock and somebody telling you what you can and cannot do. God brought you out. And you need to stay out and stay free. Don't go back. And if you're thinking about starting your own business, do it. Don't be scared. You can do it. You do not need a college degree to have a business. You don't have to have a high school education or a high school diploma to have a business. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to have a drive and a work ethic. If you can bust your behind for somebody else's dream, you could do that for your doggone self and for your family. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. Think of what you can do to be a blessing and to help other people. You have gifts and talents in you. You have greatness in you. You can do it. Start that business. And if you are in business and you're thinking about quitting, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, those steps that young lady walked down, that was all broken up. And you had to jump over a part of the steps, a hole, to even get down there. She made it. It was rough, but she made it. And she didn't fill out an application, just like I did. But me, on the other hand, went down on the slide. Smooth. No bumps. Smooth. Quick. Fast. No trouble. It was easy. She had to be careful with each step that she made so she won't fall, so she won't hurt herself. But God had me go down a slide. The Lord is with you. He is with you. And He will show you what to do to come out. and it's going to be a smooth transition. Smooth transition. Smooth. Don't be scared. God is going to show you how and give you the wisdom of how you can transition from working for somebody to being your entrepreneur. He will show you how to do it. Don't be scared. It's easier than you think. Now, when I was proceeding to go to the vehicle that I thought was mine, and those two big vehicles on either side of the vehicle that I thought was mine, I didn't know how I was going to get out that space. I didn't know how I was going to get out. So I could get to my destination and get to where I'm going. But that wasn't even my vehicle. Fear is a liar. False evidence appearing real. God will set you free, and the enemy will try to make you fearful of thinking, man, I'm out now. Now what I'm going to do? I feel like I'm in a tight space now. Money kind of tight. How am I going to do this? False evidence appearing real. Is not even true. That small SUV that was sandwiched in between those two big vehicles won't even mine. When I got closer, I saw that it won't even mine. And I looked on the other side of the parking lot, and there was my vehicle. And my vehicle was not sandwiched in between anything. It was in a space so I can just back on up and go to where I need to go.